Mr. Ramee, floor is yours, please.
Hello, good evening. I'm going to put you all out of your misery, don't worry. I have about 3 slides to go through. So I think a lot has been said already by my colleagues when it comes to decarbonization. I won't be touching on that, but especially when it comes to data and the role of support services around the maritime industries, I'll be touching upon the changing role of post-pandemic ship agency. So, perhaps accelerated by the pandemic, ship agency has gone through a couple of changes during the pandemic. However, I believe the main role of ship agency has and always has been a certain topic, and that will most likely not change anytime in the future. Perhaps it is to gain an edge on competitors or to reduce operating costs or provide enhanced services. Whatever your reason, as long as you continue to innovate through your own means or support structures and collaboration with other members of the industry, that is, I believe, truly the best solution. So today, I'll be speaking about the role of a ship agent, touching upon the digital expansion, and then future-proofing businesses. I myself, we operate a family-run and operated business. It's born and bred in the UAE. We only have our own assets and businesses and offices in the UAE, so future-proofing, for example, a local business in a very global industry is a challenge. And so steps in how we at least look to do so is something I'll also be able to talk about. What is the role of a ship agent? The main role of a ship agent is information. Yes, clearing a vessel, assisting with crew and owners matters, or delivery of ship spares, clearances and deliveries at seaports and airports are all activities that ship agencies do, along with logistics support structures. But the main and key role of any ship agency has and will always be information. How the information is being delivered perhaps will change and will evolve. And that is how we will continue to innovate. Whenever I speak to my clients or principals, it always revolves around the topics of information and or data. I mean, I get questions asked, are we able to conduct repairs of gas-laden vessels in port, for example? Are we able to do hot work in anchorage, close to ship-to-ship transfer locations? Are we able to, I mean, the number one questions recently has been around COVID protocol that were ever-changing, whether it be around crew changes with COVID positive passengers. Realistically, rules and regulations were changed every day or every week. Just today, Port of Fujairah have announced that they've abolished all COVID-19 protocols and any restrictions that they've had. But I'm hoping that this remains intact now for the future. These types of questions are always raised with ship agents. And the onus is on the ship agent to be able to respond as quickly, but most importantly, I believe, accurately. Accuracy of data is perhaps much more important to speed of data. And although ship agency in the grand scheme of things is the smallest fish in a very vast ocean, but do not underestimate the power that is held with ship agencies. In the UAE especially, and all Gulf countries, the registered ship agent is almost akin to a disponent owner of the vessel, because the term as agents only doesn't really exist in this area. So the liabilities for any registered ship agency when they register vessels in port is gigantic, and the liabilities are not limited whatsoever. The liabilities also are for defaulting on crew wages, for example, any past bad debts for any other port in the group, for example, a DP World port. So ship agencies take on board quite a lot of risk when they decide to represent any sort of vessel in any port. Although the margin is not fantastic, that is most likely why ship agencies have to better themselves, not only to enhance their own services and enhance their credibility in the market, but it's mainly to protect themselves, because as we saw during the pandemic, quite a lot of ship agencies went under due to cash flow issues, because the general state of the market is we have to, as ship agencies, pay ahead of time to ports and authorities, and will most likely be paid hopefully in 90 days time as a maximum, but you never know. So accuracy of information differentiates good to the bad, more so than speed of information. With information provided, vessel operators and vessel managers, be it crew, technical or commercial, they're able to gain a significant edge, especially now that we're talking about just-in-time laycans. Providing port lineups ahead of time to owners and charterers so that they can effectively time vessels to ports, for example. Providing cargo information of what is moving in and out of any port at any given time gives certain charterers an edge to book cargoes in certain directions, for example. And then whether or not they're able to conduct X amount of activities while the vessel is in port gives owners an edge to also save time and thereby honoring their charter party without any demurrage claims. These are all topics and activities that the ship agent is actually very, very involved with that perhaps is not very well known. So communicating with vessel operators months in advance for a dry docking, for example, means you can insist on having items sent sea freight rather than air freight, thereby saving a large amount of money. So most of us have been transitioning already, or have already transitioned to cloud-based software and applications. The pandemic perhaps only accelerated that. We now have a new baseline, or a new normal, I would say. We're all now building our own ERP systems, but I think Mira mentioned already is that we're all building very personal and very independent ERP systems, which is great because there aren't a lot of over-the-counter systems that you can purchase at the moment that really will fuel your business or cater to your industry completely. However, I think collaboration is the name of the game at the moment. Mr. Gautam also mentioned electronic bills of lading. You've probably all heard of NFTs in some way or another. I hope none of you have severely invested in Bitcoin, but that's a different conference as it is. But NFTs, I think, actually does have quite a interesting application in commercial business because it allows us to actually apply a unique license to electronic documents. Because of that, perhaps it's a way that we can actually expand upon electronic bills of lading, where it can now become a standard. The main issue that we face in quite a lot of areas are just the limitations to local rules and regulations. We can only cater to our clients as much as, for example, local port authorities and governments allow us to. We can only innovate that far. So, future-proofing, mentioned already before, collaborations and networks, working together, especially for a family business like us. We rely on friends around the world to also assist us with various information and accurate information more often than not. Investing in physical and digital assets, making sure that your money is safe is extremely important. And what we're trying to do is, in our company at least, is investing in people. I think people are the most future-proof I would dare to say commodity, unfortunately, but that is at least where we are looking at. And so with that, thank you very much, and have a very good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ram.